AMD just hit an all-time high. Finally! Is there more room to run, or is it time to bail? Let's discuss. I'm Brian, the Finance Ninja. It has in fact been 84 years since AMD last reached an all-time high. Wait, you're telling me I'm wrong? Okay, is this better? November 2021. Can you believe that the last all-time high was reached in 1912? 2021? Just look at that drop after the last high, down 62%. Did you buy in the dip? This guy did. Oh, this is my Patreon portfolio. I started this small portfolio about a year ago. I used it to show my Patreon members how I build a portfolio. I update Patreon in every transaction I make. Oh, you want to follow along on this ride to a multi-million-dollar portfolio? Then sign up to my Patreon. It's only $1. There's only a few seats left in the early bird special, however. I made an AMD valuation model back in November. I had a base case of $161.90, a 43% upside at the time. I'm usually not one to toot my horn, but the video where I made this prediction is in the description. Check it out after this one. That video is great. AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, is one of the leading manufacturers of CPUs, GPUs, and APUs for PCs, laptops, and servers, and consoles. AMD is known for its Ryzen, Radeon, and now Instinct brands, which compete with Intel and Nvidia in the processor market. AMD has been on a roll lately, thanks to its strong performance, innovation, and customer loyalty. AMD has been gaining market share from Intel in the CPU segment, especially in the gaming and desktop segments, where AMD's Ryzen processors offer superior performance, efficiency, and value. AMD is also trying to compete with Nvidia in the gaming GPU space, but less successfully than the CPU space. Now, things weren't always going well though. Just look at how long AMD was in trouble. This is a 16-year chart of net income. 16 years. They were nearly bankrupt. AMD was a dumpster fire. Just look at what price AMD stock was in June 2015. $1.67 per share. AMD had 783 million shares at the time. That is a market cap of $1.3 billion. Yes, a market cap of $1.3 billion. In 2015, that's not that long ago. Elon Musk could have bought AMD 100 times over and still had money left over for a coffee at Starbucks. Okay, maybe not the Starbucks part. Nobody can afford that anymore. Server market share during these dark times was virtually zero. Virtually zero. How do you make a comeback from zero? Well, AMD found a way. It has to do with creating better chips. And Lisa Su. Lisa Su led the turnaround. She became CEO in 2014 and immediately set out to create Zen. Zen was actually two chips built on a similar architecture, Ryzen for desktop and EPYC for server, which is a market AMD had exited a few years earlier. AMD only had the cash to create one more processor class. This was it. Lisa Su literally bet the whole company on Zen. It was this or bankruptcy. Now moving on to clients, the stuff you use. This category is basically Ryzen. Along with EPYC, Ryzen is the other product that brought AMD back from near death. And guess what? This product was a home run. AMD has consistently gained market share in the CPU space since the launch of Ryzen, which is now estimated at 34.6%. AMD has a performance, efficiency, gaming, and core count edge over Intel in the client CPU space. Now, the Ryzen 3D cache chips are the best gaming chips on the market. Now, Epic is the other piece of the puzzle that led to AMD's turnaround. One of the other key growth areas for AMD is the data center market. With the increasing demand for cloud computing and data processing, AMD's Epic processors have found a solid footing. As more businesses transition to cloud-based solutions, AMD is well positioned to capitalize on this trend and potentially grab a larger share of the lucrative data center market. According to analysts, AMD is expected to attain 20% market share in the data processing segment last year. This is up from virtually zero market share a handful of years ago. Sorry, I'm blocking my cat. Now, embedded is almost entirely made of products brought in by the Xilinx acquisition. These include FPGAs, adaptive SoCs, SOMs, and embedded CPUs and GPUs. FPGAs are customizable chips used in AI and other applications. AMD is the #1 player in the FPGA market, and Intel is in a very distant #2. Now, the ironic thing is that the Xilinx acquisition damaged AMD's stock price. For 2 years, AMD couldn't get out of the Xilinx shadow, the Xilinx stock crash. But now, AMD is using Xilinx technology to add AI to AMD's client CPU chips like the Hawk Point. What a difference a couple of years makes. Shamo says to like and subscribe. Revenue growth has been nothing short of impressive. The decline in the bottom line in 2022 is mostly due to acquisition-related costs. Alright, enough foreplay. Time to get to the real reason AMD stock skyrocketed. AI, baby. Lisa Su has mentioned that she expects AI to grow from a $30 billion industry today to $150 billion in 2027 for a 50% CAGR over the next 4 years. Now, this plays a part in my valuation model for AMD. But wait, there's more. AMD then updated the number to 70% and set the total addressable market to $400 billion in 2027. That is massive, and that not only benefits AMD, it also benefits NVIDIA, and it actually also benefits Intel, since Intel is also making AI chips. AI is all the excitement these days, and that is where the MI300 plays. The MI300 is AMD's most important product launch since the Ryzen, and they just started delivering these in December. Now, AI is split into 2 main categories. That's trading and inference. The MI300 is geared towards inference. AMD does not currently have a trading-centric chip in the lineup, but I expect them to have one within 12 months as the MI300 variant. The MI300 will compete with the NVIDIA H100 and 200, which is soon to release, and other variations thereof. Now, the H100 recently had a sticker price of $40,000 each. The average selling price for the MI300 will be large, as Jin Hu mentioned in the Q3 earnings call that the MI300 will raise AMD's gross margin percentage this year. Now, what happened on Tuesday? This is where it gets interesting. AMD shares rose more than 8% Tuesday to their highest closing price since reaching that record in November 2021 on optimism that the company's artificial intelligence chips will be in higher demand from companies such as Microsoft, Google, and OpenAI. Tom O'Malley, an analyst at Barclays, raised his price target in AMD to $200 from $120. That's a big increase, saying AMD could post $4 billion in AI chip sales this year. O'Malley, who has the equivalent of a buy rating on the stock, cited a strong demand for the MI300 in these highest-end machine learning chips for servers. KeyBank analysts also increased their price target for AMD to $195 and NVIDIA to $740 on Tuesday, due to strong demand for AI servers. Now, the reason for this optimism is the strong demand for AMD's new AI chips, especially the MI300, which is the company's highest-end machine learning chip for servers. Now, AMD claims the MI300 can deliver superior inferencing performance compared to NVIDIA's H100 GPU. AMD and NVIDIA are the two major producers of GPUs, which were actually invented for advanced computer games, but are now critical to train and run AI models. So that's just kind of a little bit of luck there, but you know what? It's skill as well. As AI applications gained investor attention over the past 2 years, NVIDIA has been the primary beneficiary because the company developed AI solutions for its chips more than 10 years ago. Quote, they have built a software layer around their chip that the companies I invest in just can't get enough of, end quote. Venture capitalist Jim Breyer told CNBC on Tuesday. Breyer said there was, quote, pounding the table, end quote, for both NVIDIA and AMD shares. Analysts see AMD improving its AI software and expect major chip buyers such as cloud providers and tech giants to look hard at using AMD GPUs. Quote, we are by no means discounting the lead that NVIDIA has, but we think the desire to have a second source will overwhelm difficulties for the software ecosystem, end quote. That was a statement by O'Malley. Now, the MI300 also supports popular AI frameworks such as TensorFlow and PyTorch. AMD's AI chips have already attracted some big customers such as Microsoft. Oh, by the way, in case you want to know, here's my cat. There she is. Isn't she cute? She's just adorable. She's a dream. Okay, back to the video. Sorry, I couldn't ignore that. She's eating right behind me. All right, where was that? Oh yeah, AMD's AI chips have already attracted some big customers such as Microsoft, which are using them to power their cloud services and AI models. And this article expects AMD to generate $4 billion in AI chips this year, 2024, which would be double what AMD predicted just last quarter. So that would be a huge beat if AMD can actually get that number. AMD's AI chips also have a large amount of high bandwidth memory, that's HBM, which allows them to store and access large amounts of data faster than conventional memory. AMD's memory speed and size actually slightly surpass NVIDIA's, just by a little though. This helps in inferencing. Moreover, AMD's AI chips have a unique feature called Infinity Fabric, which enables them to connect with each other and form a coherent network of processors, thus increasing their performance and scalability. Just making sure I'm still not blurred. Now, the AI war is just starting to heat up, although NVIDIA still has such a massive lead. For reference, 2022 total revenues were $23.6 billion. If the MI300 can hit $4 billion this year, it alone would boost AMD's revenues by 17% from the 2022 numbers, and these are high margin revenues. And AI is just getting started. Now let's see if AMD is a buy, hold, or sell today. Let me know in the comments, what are you doing? Are you buying, holding, or selling? AMD has a forward PE of 43. That's growth category, forward PE. That's decent, and it's their price as a growth stock, is what I'm trying to say. Now, Wall Street gives AMD a buy rating with an 8% downside from today's price. Yeah, the rating and price are out of sync. One of them will have to give in the coming few weeks as AMD reports their earnings. AMD's success has been reflected in its stock price, which, as we know, just hit a new all-time high. AMD is one of those valuable tech companies in the world. AMD's future looks bright as it continues to innovate and deliver cutting-edge products and technologies to its customers. AMD is also expected to benefit from the growing demand for PCs, laptops, servers, and consoles, as well as the emerging trends in cloud computing, AI, of course, gaming, and blockchain. The big one, of course, is AI. So, am I buying or am I selling? For that, you'll have to see my valuation model. Now, I've made some changes to my AMD valuation and updated my AMD price target. The new price target is on Patreon. So, what do you think of AMD's phenomenal growth and performance? Are you a fan of AMD's products and technologies? Do you think AMD can maintain its momentum and keep up with its competitors? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.